Welcome to the Las Vegas Review-Journal Judicial Primary Debates. Here's your host, Victor Jakes.
Hello, I'm Victor Jakes. Welcome to the Las Vegas Review-Journal's Nevada Judicial Debate Series. Today's debate is between the three candidates running for Clark County Family Court Department S. Joining us are incumbent Judge Vincent Ochoa and his two challengers, Regina McConell and Lisa Szyc. Before we begin, a word on the format. We are conducting this debate over Zoom in response to the coronavirus outbreak, and we urge everyone to take precautions to keep each other safe and healthy. We'll begin with a 1-minute opening statement. Gina, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Regina McConell, and I am running for Department S Family Court Judge. I've been practicing law here in Nevada since 2003, and I've focused solely on family law since 2007. I chose to move into the family law area because I feel like that's a place where families really need help getting through the process, and the court system is not easy and it can be scary for people. And when they're in there fighting and arguing about assets and debts and children, they really need people who are understanding of that and realize that these are issues that are important to them. And so I felt like the family law field is the best field for me to help people and get them through this process so they're not financially and emotionally defeated at the end of the case.
Thank you, Gina. Judge Ochoa?
Thank you. I want to thank the RJ for having this debate. And because of what's going on with the coronavirus, I would like to take a second to thank all the grocery workers, the truck drivers, and people at the hospitals. I think they're real heroes at this time. If you would like to know more about me, you can go to judgevincentochoa.com. I came to Nevada in 1978 with my wife. My wife and I have raised 4 children here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are helping to raise 3 grandchildren. I practiced law since 1979. I came out here with $500, my wife and I, and that was borrowed from our parents. And since then, I practiced law as a law clerk and then went on to open my own office. I've also worked as a Deputy Attorney General, representing the citizens of Nevada in termination of parental rights cases and abuse and neglect. My first Nevada Supreme Court case was in 1981. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge Ochoa. Lisa?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for participating in today's debate, and thank you to the RJ for hosting this debate so that the constituents of Nevada can learn more about all of us. My name is Lisa Szyc, and I am running for Family Court Department S. I've been practicing law in Nevada since 2009. I've been practicing law exclusively in the area of family law and criminal law since 2013. I've dedicated my practice to helping those who sometimes cannot help themselves, and I believe that I will bring something special and unique to the bench, especially based on my years of family law and criminal law experience, because oftentimes you see companion cases in that area of law. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Gina, this first question will go to you first. Divorces are a big part of family court and are hotly contested conflicts for those involved. Will you tell us why you're the person best prepared to navigate these disputes?
For the last 17 years, I've been out in the trenches with people. Prior to doing family law, I've done litigation, so I've actually put on jury trials as well. And that has helped me understand the process of litigation, and it also practicing every day with these people. I know what they are going through, and I know that they are financially drained and emotionally drained at the end of their cases, and they can't even hardly take it to the end because of that. And seeing this on a daily basis, I know that I can get up there and from the beginning of a case, I can direct the litigants on how they need to get their case moving forward so they don't spend a year in limbo and fighting and just hating each other at the end, because I don't think that that's beneficial for the two parties, and it's definitely not beneficial for the children if there are children involved, and there are so many divorces with children involved.
Thank you very much, Gina. Judge Ochoa, obviously you've been working with divorces in your duties in family court. Will you tell us how you approach these disputes?
Number one, they come to me with a problem, and my job is to try to help them find a solution. Many times when attorneys come to court, they tell me again what the problems is, which we already know what the problem are, usually in a division of house or child custody. I ask them to work with their clients to try to find a solution to their problems. We send them to mediation to help them work out their problems. They come back. I tell them what I'm going to be doing. If there's children involved, there's not going to be a winner. I'm trying to do what's in the best interest of the children. So whoever shows me that that's what where their heart and mind is, they will have an advantage. And that's my approach. I try to keep the attorney's fees down as much as possible. And you should know that 67% of the litigants that come to court in family court come without an attorney.
Thank you very much, Judge Ochoa. Lisa, the same question for you. How divorce, there's inherent conflict. Tell us how you're the person best prepared to navigate those people who are having such a personal disagreement.
I think the best way to do that is to kind of issue spot from the beginning. If you have two litigants in front of you with no children, then you know that you've got an asset case, and it's to try to help streamline the process as much as possible, offer guidance to the attorneys to say, hey, this is what I'm inclined to do. This is what the law allows me to do. If you think we should be doing something differently, make your arguments, but just kind of to keep the case moving as quickly as possible. Because I think that's important in one, the emotional aspect for the litigants, but also in terms of the overall financial cost for the cost of attorney's fees, et cetera. Where there are kids involved, the idea is to apply the best interest of the child. And I think something unique that I would bring to the bench is that I am the product of divorced parents. My parents got divorced when I was very young, and set a great example for me of what co-parenting should and does look like. So I know it can be done. So with the tools available to help the parties get to a place where they can be acting in what is the best interest of their child.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And our judicial primary debate will continue in a moment.
All your listeners and followers, the best name of any podcast in the world is podcast.
Nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever faked
Not that we
their
know
death.
of.
No.
When you work with Prince, you got to get used to the fact that he changes musicians like underwear. You know, like
Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, he's a quarterback in the Boston area.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
You're watching the Judicial Primary Debate for Family Court Department S. It's part of an ongoing series of debates produced by the Las Vegas Review-Journal to inform local voters about these races. Judge Ochoa, this question is for you. In the Review-Journal's Judging the Judges survey of 2019, 48% of responding attorneys disagreed with the statement that you were familiar with the case record and documents, and just 35% agreed with that statement that you were prepared. Are you prepared when you go to court?
My law clerk reads every case. I read every case. I read the law clerk's brief. What you need to know is a little discussion of your survey. There's 5,500 attorneys in Clark County. 88 replied to the survey. I'm more concerned with the 2 million people who live in Nevada, and that's why I'm getting their support from the Police Officers Association, the firefighters, the SEIU, Culinary, International Brotherhoods of Electrical Workers. They're the ones that are endorsing me because they know I am prepared. I spend time on weekends after night reading the motions and then reading my law clerk's brief. So sometimes I ask questions and they think I don't know the answer to, but I do know the answer. I'm asking them to try to provide a solution and also to kind of express their feelings on record.
Thank you, Judge Ochoa. You know, Lisa, you've talked about the fact that you've been practicing family law for 7 years. Is that enough experience to be a family law judge?
I believe that it is, because essentially in every case, although the facts may be different, the inherent issues are the same. Like I said, if you have a divorce case and there are no children, then it's an asset case. You look at the applicable case law and apply it to the facts that are appearing before you. In child custody cases, some of those issues might range a little more, involving issues of abandonment or abuse or neglect, and factors that you would need to take into consideration there. In these 7 years that I've been practicing, I've done almost every type of family law case, including dependency, delinquency, TPO cases, child custody, and divorce cases. And I've had several of those matters result in the start of a trial, but only fewer of them have ended in trial because once we've gotten into it, with the help of either the jurist on the bench or the attorneys, we were able to reach a settlement, but only after witness testimony was started. So I do think in my 7 years, I've managed to do and learn a lot, which would give me the experience necessary to preside over these types of cases.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Gina, you've been a lawyer, you said, for over 15 years, spending the last 12 years dealing exclusively with family law. Why should someone vote for you when Judge Ochoa has over 40 years of legal experience?
Because people should vote for me because I'm actually down in the trenches with these people on a daily basis. I see what they're going through. And while Judge Ochoa is on the bench, he sees the cases that are in front of him. But on a day-to-day basis, I have so many clients coming in and out. I'm able to work with these people to get cases resolved before even going into court because I know what they're looking for and what's going to happen if they actually try and take it to trial. However, I also know that some cases need to go to trial if they have to. Some people want their day in court, and that's how they're going to end the case. And I totally understand that. And they will get their day in court, and it's not going to be a year down the road. We need to keep these cases moving. We have people that are in limbo for over a year dealing with child custody cases, and that's unacceptable because that's not what's in the best interest of the children, and that's also not acceptable for the litigants who want to get their divorce finalized. So that's why I think I would make a good asset.
Thank you very much, Gina. Judge Ochoa, I want to ask about that question. Is your calendar moving fast enough, or are there children who are in limbo for a year?
To be honest, the cases are moving fast. We had just a recent study by a national organization. They compared us to King County, New York, same population base. They have twice as many family court judges as we do. We're going to add 6 new judges next year, but sometimes the delay is not caused by the court or the judge. It's caused by the litigants themselves. They change attorneys. They want to get an attorney. They want more time for negotiations. The attorney they're not ready. They want more time to prepare. So it's a combination of factors, but I want every case to be heard within the year, especially child custody cases. I've been a litigant myself as a grandparent, so I know how long it waits and how nervous you are and the frustration in getting the case heard. So I try to understand that, and when people come to court, I let them speak because they've been waiting for a while.
Thank you, Judge Ochoa. Lisa, I want to ask you, are cases moving fast enough? Do you think Judge Ochoa's calendar is going quickly enough?
I only have a few cases in front of Judge Ochoa. Unfortunately, most of mine seem to be in other departments. And I think across the board, there seems to be a general slowness in which the calendar moves. I think some judges do better at it than others. And based on my experience of practicing in this area every day, I would hope that I would have a staff that would support me in keeping our calendar moving in a timely basis. But specifically as to Department S right now, the active cases that I have seem to be following the trend of the cases across Park County and moving slower than they should.
Gina, you started this. I want to come back to you with the question. I mean, isn't this just a resource issue? They're adding 6 new family court positions. Isn't that really what's needed to speed it up?
That will definitely help. I agree. We have a lot of divorce cases and custody cases in Nevada. However, it's just in general, the cases are not getting finished in time. We've had cases that'll move from courtroom to courtroom, and then you get in front of the courtroom to do a calendar call, and you find out that day that it's not a calendar call and you're not going to trial, even though you're prepared and ready to go. Those are the problems we're having. There seems to sometimes be a lack of communication between the court staff and the attorneys sometimes. When they want to, my clients specifically want cases to move along, and so I try my hardest to keep them moving along. I'm not one of these that just sits down and says, well, we're just going to sit around and wait for the courts to make their decisions. I'm trying to be as proactive as I can with the limits that I'm given.
Thank you, Gina. And stay tuned. This debate will continue right after these messages.
The Vegas Nation podcast is your source for all of your Las Vegas Raiders news. Subscribe and get fast takes and smart coverage. Download the Vegas Nation app and check out vegasnation.com to stay up to date with your Las Vegas Raiders.
For all your Raiders news, like us on Facebook, download the Vegas Nation app, and go to vegasnation.com.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. You are watching the judicial primary debate for Family Court Department S. Lisa, we've heard a bit about everyone's experience. Do you think any of your opponents are unqualified or unsuited to be a family court judge?
I have a lot of respect for Regina. Her and I have actually worked and tried cases together, and I agree with everything that she said about her qualifications and how she works cases. I personally appeared in front of Judge Ochoa on multiple occasions and have active cases in front of him right now. I think that I could bring something more to the bench than where he's at. I don't think that Judge Ochoa is a bad judge, but I also don't think that he's the same judge that he started out with when he first took the bench. I think there's kind of been a decline in his performance since then. And I think that's why there's a need for change in this department. And that's a huge part of the reason why I decided to run for Department S.
Thank you, Lisa. Gina, same question. Do you think any of your opponents are either unqualified or unsuited to be in the family court?
I agree with Lisa. I work well with her. We actually had cases tried, but then we were able to resolve some as well. And I appreciate her views on family law and helping her clients get through the process. Again, with respect to Judge Ochoa, I've been in front of him a couple of times more recently. And, you know, that was one of the issues is I'm in front of there for a case that we had assumed was going to trial, and then we were told, no, it's not. And my client was ready to go, and this was a custody case. And that was not acceptable to my client as he's walking out of court thinking that we would have at least had the case moving towards trial the next week. And I agree with Lisa. I feel like he's not what he used to be. Even in a mediation that we had, he was basically in the back while me and opposing counsel just basically did the settlement conference, which if that's how he handles it, that's fine. But I prefer when I'm doing a settlement conference with a judge to be more involved so that my clients have an idea of what's happening.
Thank you. You know, Judge Ochoa, before I ask you that question, I actually want to give you a little chance to respond to what your challengers have said. Is your heart still in being a judge?
Well, they say that I'm not the same judge, and they're right. I'm not the same judge. I am more experienced now than when I started 10 years ago. I am more efficient now. I am more productive now than I was when I first started. I told the citizens of Nevada on day one I was ready. That was 10 years ago, and I was ready. And now I am better prepared, more efficient, and more productive. As far as what happens in a settlement conference, which she addressed, it is my position that they come, I tell them where things should be, then they go out and negotiate. If they hit a roadblock, they come back to me, and then we negotiate some more. But they're the attorneys, they're getting paid, and there's the clients. I am not going to force my decision upon a client. That is not a settlement conference.
Thank you, Judge Ochoa. And I do want to ask you that same question. Do you think either of your opponents are unqualified or unsuited to be on the bench?
Well, one of them does criminal work, and the other one ran for municipal court judge in Henderson just a year ago. I've been doing family law for 41 years. I started out as a deputy attorney general representing citizens in family court on termination of parental rights cases, which is the hardest case to handle. And then I've also did abuse and neglect as an attorney general. Then I did juvenile court work for 20 years and abuse and neglect work for 15 years. And then during this time, I was running my own practice doing domestic cases. I've been on a bench now for 10 years. I've been married. I raised 4 children in Clark County, so I know what the issues parents go through with children. I am helping to raise grandchildren now, so I know what grandparents go through. So I know the law, and I have family experience and legal experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Ochoa. At least I want to give you 30 seconds to respond to that. It's kind of the same question about experience. How do you match Judge Ochoa's experience in family law?
It's physically impossible for me to do that because I haven't been practicing law as long as he has, and there's a giant age difference between the two of us. But in preparation for this debate tonight, I actually took the time to go back and look over all of my old cases. And in 7 years, I have been the attorney of record on over 100 different types of family cases, including divorce, child custody, TPOs, guardianships, delinquencies, child support cases. There's not an area in this particular part of the law in which I have not practiced and have experience. So do I have the vast years of experience? No, but do I still have the hunger and the passion to zealously represent and advocate for my clients? Yes. Will I take that passion with me to the bench? Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. Gina, same question for you. I mean, if voters want experience, shouldn't they look elsewhere?
Thank you. I've been practicing over 15 years, and again, there is an age difference that does make a difference. So I haven't been practicing as long as Judge Ochoa. However, that doesn't mean that I'm not experienced. It doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Experience isn't based upon age. It's not based upon how long you've been practicing. You can get someone out of college who can do a fantastic, amazing job. And I'm in the trenches on a daily basis with these people. So I think that has a lot to go with our experience.
Thank you very much, Gina. And we'll be back for our final segment in just a moment. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. You are watching the judicial primary debate for Department 6, and we're on to closing statements. Lisa, 40 seconds, and we'll begin with you.
Thank you very much, Victor. Again, my name is Lisa Szyc, and I'm running for Family Court Department S. And I've been practicing in the areas of family and criminal law for over 7 years, with being a lawyer in Las Vegas for over 10. I have what it takes to bring the change necessary to this department. I've practiced in the areas of divorce, child support, child custody, TPO, and guardianship cases. I can bring that experience with me to give the people of Clark County the type of judge that they need and deserve. It's time for a change. And remember, vote Lisa S. for Department S.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Judge Ochoa, your closing statement.
I'm Judge Ochoa. I'm your family court judge in Department S. I've been your judge there for 10 years. In addition to the experience, I also bring good judgment. And you can tell that I have good judgment because I was voted to be a member of the Board of Governors by my fellow peers. Also, if you would look at the number of appeals that are filed against me, they're very limited, and I have a very good record with the Supreme Court. So I established that I have good judgment in addition to experience. I've also had prior experience as a hearing master doing juvenile court, doing abuse and neglect. Right now, I'm on the State Guardianship Commission for the state, working on guardianship cases and guardianship laws. We have worked it so now any guardian, anyone seeking to place a guardianship over someone, that person gets an attorney now. That goes for adults and minors as well. I'm Judge Ochoa. I am your family court judge in Department S. Go to my webpage, judgevincentochoa.com. You can see all the endorsements I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge Ochoa. Gina?
Thank you again for having us all do this debate, teleconferencing, so we can at least get this out for the people. Again, I'm Regina McConell, running for Department S. I believe that I am the person that can best handle this position. So when you go out and fill out your ballots, I would respectfully request that you choose me because I can handle this. I'm a mother of 3 young children, and I know what these kids need in their life and what's in the best interest of these children. And they are my passion. And because of that, I can bring that to the bench. And I know what these divorcing people are going through because I'm with them every day, and I know it's financially and emotionally draining. So when you get out to vote, please remember to vote Regina McConell.
Thank you, Gina, and thank you all for participating, and thank you for watching this edition of Nevada Judicial Debates. Remember, you can find this program and more information on all the judicial races at reviewjournal.com. We'll see you next time.